Lion?
No, just like a tiger. Just a tiger.
Yeah. So, oh, so we had to figure what animal and type it in our computers in workshop. Oh, wait, this is it.
Yeah, hi kids, welcome. So Mataji is already there on the call. She will take over from here. Before that, we did a cooking class this week on Monday. If someone did not join on that day and wanted to, do that cooking, that one is the recipe is there in the group. Please check and try to make it and send the picture. Only 2 kids or 3 kids did it. That's it. I want everybody to do it. Okay. Then only we'll have the cooking classes again. Otherwise, we'll stop it.
Wait, we're doing cooking class today?
Not today, Vrinda.
Wait, today's Kahoot.
No Kahoot today. More.
Why?
All right, kids. Welcome to today's class. And let's get started as we have a lot to cover today. So you know that we are doing the series on Bhagavad Pravaha. It's the book based on, basically the book written by His Grace Gauranga Darshan Prabhu. And we're still continuing with the same stuff. But yeah, before we get into today's content, let's just start with prayers that are on your screen. And we would be doing that together. And I want all the kids to participate, okay? So kids, yeah, let's do the prayers together. Om
Namo Om Padaya Krishnaaya Bhutale Bhakti Vedanta Swami Ne Dinamine Namaste Saraswate Nirvande Pashadate Chadarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare Hare Krishna Krishna Hare Ram Ram Hare.
Very nice. Very, very nice. All right, kids. So today, as I said, we are reading the book in continuation to whatever we have done, yesterday. So we're going to continue from there. If you remember where we left off, you would be able to catch up on today's content as well. But today's content pretty much talks about timely retirement, and the message is no pain or pleasure of this mortal world can overwhelm pure devotees, right? So the pure devotees, pure devotees do not find pleasure in anything that this material world offers. Why? Because the only thing they want to achieve is Krishna Bhakti, Krishna Prem, right? So we all are on the same page on that. So yeah, let's go through this. And this is what we're talking about today is the time when after, the Kurukshetra war happened and Krishna left this planet, right? So that is the time we are talking about. And Narad Muni had one of the times hinted Yudhishthir that Lord Krishna had disappeared from the planet. So even Pandavas should plan for their retirement, because if Krishna is not around anymore, and Yudhishthir and Pandavas have already done what they had to do, right? So Kurukshetra war has happened. Now all that work is done. Now it's time for them also to go back. So Yudhishthira was kind of remembering that, and there were a lot of things that were happening around him. He was trying to connect dots to see what's going on, right? And about another thing is that about 7 months ago, Arjun had gone to Dwarka to meet Krishna, and he has not returned as yet. So Yudhishthira is thinking, okay, maybe what Narad Muni had told me is actually true. So Krishna has gone. He's left this planet, and that is why maybe Arjun is not coming back, or maybe he could not meet him, or maybe whatever he's going through, right? So now he's trying to connect dot that there's so many things happening. Maybe whatever I've heard so far is right. Oh, what is that? Is right. But at the same time, Yudhishthira Maharaj was seeing so many inauspicious omens in his kingdom. And there are few of them he has explained here. One is that there are irregularities in the seasons. So the season won't come one after another. We know that how they come, right? So there's winter, and after the winter, there'll be whatever fall, and then summer, and then, sorry, I changed the whole sequence. Winter, and then spring, then summer and fall, and all that kind of stuff keep happening, right? But Yudhishthira Maharaj was observing that even seasons are not coming as they should. There's change in that. He's also seeing that people are becoming more and more greedy and deceitful, and so on. So the kind of people that they had seen during their time or just before Kurukshetra war, people are changing. They're more greedy. They have all those kind of material desires. So pretty much when he's looking at all that, he could think that, okay, it's the time of Kali Yuga, right? So Kali Yuga is fast approaching, and it is the time for us to now retire. As Yudhishthira was talking about these inauspicious signs to his brother Bhim, at the same time, Arjun also arrived there. So he saw Arjun, and Arjun was kind of devastated. He was dejected. He had tears in his eyes. So looking at his own brother in that kind of a condition, Yudhishthira Maharaj was a little bit concerned. And he started asking him so many questions. He started asking him questions about how are the people doing in Dwarka, because that's where Arjun was. So he started asking about the welfare of the people or the relatives there in Dwarka. He was also very curious, and he started inquiring about how Arjun is doing himself, right? Because he could see Arjun's eyes filled with tears. So he was very, very worried. So he's trying to find out what's going on with Arjun, what's going on with any other person or his own relatives in Dwarka, if everything is okay or not. But seeing Arjun painfully silent, so Arjun was just not responding because he was in a lot of pain. So he just couldn't utter even a single word. Yudhishthira started fearing the worst. So looking at Arjun's condition, when Arjun is not even saying anything, Yudhishthira Maharaj he was kind of trying not to accept the fact that Krishna would have gone, right? He would have left this planet, even though he was seeing so many indications all around him, right? Like people are becoming greedy. Narad Muni had told him. He's looking at Arjun's condition. the weather is not happening the way it should. So many things that are coming in front of him. He's trying to ignore those just because he did not, I mean, anybody, right, would not want to accept the fact that Krishna is not going to be there with them anymore. But this was his biggest fear. And then finally he asked him, because he really wanted to clarify his doubt. He asked him, are you feeling empty due to losing your most intimate friend, Lord Krishna? Right? So he's trying to find that from Arjun. And he's saying, I cannot think of any other reason for your dejection. So the kind of pain you're going through, the kind of condition you are in, that's the only thing I can think of. And that is why we said when we started this today's content is that the only thing that could affect a devotee negatively is when they cannot associate with Krishna, or we cannot associate with Krishna's devotees. That is the only thing that gives them pleasure. So looking at Arjun's condition, it was very, very evident that he is missing Krishna so much. And that's how Yudhisthira was very, very sure that Krishna has gone. So no pain or pleasure of this mortal world can overwhelm a pure devotee. Their pain and pleasure are connected to their separation and union with Krishna, right? So if you're not with Krishna, they are just not happy. And when you're with Krishna, that's the biggest pleasure that you could have in your life. So that is how the devotees are. A very small chapter for today, but a very, very powerful and beautiful message. All right, with that, let's move on. So today I think we have time. So I picked up 2 stories for today. It's gonna today we're gonna do what?
Mataji,
Yes.
I think Mataji, we heard this story already.
Yes, Mataji.
Yeah, like the faith in Krishna.
Which one did you hear?
Faith in Krishna, Mataji.
Yeah, we already heard.
faith in
Faith in
Krishna.
Krishna.
Mataji, we already heard.
Mataji.
But Mataji, I want to hear more.
Mataji, but we want to hear it again. Mataji.
That is perfect. So let's hear it again. And why you want to hear this again? Because this is a beautiful story. I know. I remember reading this story to you all.
Faith in Krishna.
Right. I remember reading Faith in Krishna with you all earlier. I remember that. But this story is so awesome that I wanted to do that again today. So let's do it. And if we have time, we have more stories. Yeah.
Mataji, can I say something?
Yes, Ryan, quickly. We have to get to
Sushita gave this moral story to us for her presentation.
Oh my God, you have good memory. Very nice, very nice. Yeah, that was a good presentation. All right, kids, let's get started. All right, and remember, you already know the story. We're going to revisit the story again, but remember, at the end of the story, my favorite part is to hear from you all, right? Your realizations, or maybe from last time to this time, maybe you learned something new from the story, right? So we're going to talk about all that at the end of the story. So let's start with the story. The very first story is Faith in Krishna. It's a very beautiful story. So once on the bank of a river, there lived a very famous and learned Panditji. Villagers would come to him to seek guidance and blessings because he had so much knowledge of the scriptures. Everybody around would come, and ask for his guidance. That's what they're saying. Excellent. Your explanation on Vedanta Sutra is perfect, and you are the greatest and most learned. And Panditji knew that he is very knowledgeable, so he's just accepting all their kind words. On the other side of the river, there lived a milkmaid, a girl who had a cow, and the girl's name was Lakshmi. And Lakshmi delivered milk daily to Panditji. So that's what she used to do. She had a cow and she would just get the milk and she'll just distribute the milk. That's how she would make her livelihood. Okay, every day she would rise early, take bath, and then milk the cows. After milking the cow, she had an old father at home who was sick, so she would just feed her father, and then she will set out in a boat to supply milk to Panditji. Panditji was very particular about the timing, right? Because of all that he used to do, all the rituals he would do in a day. So he really liked getting the milk before the sunrise. So he's telling her, oh, Lakshmi, at last you have come. I was waiting for the milk. And he said, I want milk earlier. So you start coming before sunrise. Then it works for me better. And she's saying that she will try her best because it's not easy for her. We know the kind of work she does, the amount of work she does. And then she has dependency on this boatman as well. But yeah, let's see what happens. So the very next morning, she got up early. To finish her work, she came to the river bank before sunrise, but the boatman wasn't there. So he may probably comes a little early. Oh, sorry, a little late. Oh, the sun has started to rise, and Panditji is going to get very angry with me. She is worried now. Finally, the boatman came, and she's asking him to hurry because she was supposed to take milk to Panditji before sunrise. So she's asking him to move quickly. But Pandit ultimately, it was already sunrise, and Panditji wasn't very happy with her. And he said, Lakshmi, you have come late. Sun has already risen. Now, why are you late? And she is explaining that she was there at the bank of the river early, and in fact, before sunrise, but the boatman wasn't there, so she just couldn't come early. And he's just not listening to her. And he's telling her that don't give me silly excuses. Don't you know who I am? I am the greatest scholar. Better you try getting up early. So she accepts whatever he says, and he says, okay, please ask for the forgiveness. And the Panditji kept chastising her. He says that people cross the ocean of life simply by chanting the name of Krishna. And you can't even manage a small river, right? That's how he's telling her. And she's just paying good attention to what he's saying. And she takes his advice very seriously. She asks for the forgiveness again and says, tomorrow I shall come before sunrise. And that's the promise she makes. Now, next morning, she is early and she's telling Panditji that I have come early today. And he's surprised too. He's saying, yeah, you are early. How come? Gosh, what is happening today? Okay. He's also surprised. So he's telling her, okay, how come you are early today? I don't even see the boatman. So how did you come? And she is telling him that I actually followed your instructions. Whatever you told me, I've done that, and that's how I'm early. And he's surprised and he's asking her, okay, what did I tell you? So she explains that you told me that simply by chanting the name of Krishna, one can cross over the ocean. So I simply followed your instructions and simply walked over the river. Now, Panditji is surprised. He's like, how is it possible to walk over the river? Will you show me? I mean, it's just impossible. Nobody can do that. She soon started chanting and started walking over the river bank to the opposite bank. So she started walking across the river to the side where she lives. And she's constantly chanting Krishna's name. Now, once she was on the other side of the river, she's telling Panditji that, see how easy it is, Panditji. Please come here and bless my father and my home as well. So as we are already here, we are talking, why don't you try? And then, come to my place as well. Now, Panditji, the moment he is close to the river, he started thinking about his new clothes. He's thinking, oh, my new silk dhoti will become wet if I get into the water. So he's more worried about his clothes. So all material stuff, right? Now, Lakshmi tells him to, and she is suggesting him to start chanting Krishna's name. So he's saying, say Krishna, Panditji, and cross the river. Then you can do that. But Panditji was not able to walk on the water, and he immediately fell in the water and got wet. Now, Lakshmi is actually teasing him, saying that, Panditji, you are not thinking of Krishna. You are thinking of your costly silk dhoti, and that is why you are not able to cross the river. Now, Panditji realized his mistake, and it's really surprising that she was able to walk on the river, right? She did not even get wet. She didn't fall in the water. She didn't, nothing, she didn't drown. Nothing of that sort happened. So he was really impressed and said, oh, Lakshmi, I was so proud of my learning, right? He always was, because he was a scholar. And now I know that pure and simple faith like yours is what that really counts. So God bless you. So moral is quickly, faith in Lord can help one overcome possible situations. So this is one story. I think let's just pause here for a moment, see what you all have to say. If you have any realizations from this story, a very beautiful story again. Let's see what you have to say. Sanvi, let's start with you.
I think I learned that if you have faith in Krishna, then you can do anything. Like Lakshmi, she followed the Brahmana's direction, and because she had faith in Krishna, she was really able to walk on water.
Exactly. Very well said. Thank you. Ryan, you next.
So the moral of the story is we should not think about material stuff. We should think about Krishna only, because some material stuff could be very cool, and you might see when you go to the store, you might buy something expensive, because that's a material stuff. But Krishna is not material nature. He's the we should only think about him, not material things.
Yeah.
So the Panditji was just thinking about his new dhoti, but that's a material thing. But Lakshmi wasn't thinking about any material stuff. So she was just chanting Krishna to go over the river. But the Panditji wasn't. So he fell in the water, get his new dhoti wet.
Exactly. Thank you, Ryan. Janvi, you next.
So from somewhere I heard simple living, higher thinking is higher thinking, and that's true because the milkmaid, she lived simply, but she took the name of Krishna very seriously, and so she could actually think of him, and she could actually cross the river. But the Pandit, he couldn't cross the river because he had more material desires in him, and since he was not living a very simple life, he had so many more desires in him, and so he could not cross the river.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well said, Janvi. Thank you. All right, Devash, you want to go next?
The milkmaid, one day she did, and the day she got the instructions, she followed it, and the moral of the story is like following following if you chant the Mahamantra of Krishna, then you can do anything, even going on water, or even doing even like walking on something which is dirty, and who has material desires, they can only walk on something that they can.
Yeah, so true. Well said, Devash. Madhav, do you want to go next?
So when we have faith in Krishna, so we can do anything.
Exactly. Nothing is impossible. So true. Thank you, Mother. All right, Jayavardhan, do you want to go next?
Yeah. The Panditji was worried about material things that can easily be replaced, but spiritual things are super hard to replace, especially for meeting Krishna. So we should only think about Krishna because the material things can easily be replaced, but not spiritual things.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, well said. That was a good point too. Absolutely. Thank you for sharing that. Param, do you want to go next?
Yes, Mataji. So this is basically saying that when the Brahmana, the saint, he was he when he cared about his dhoti more, and I was really like surprised. I got to know this because I already heard this story, but I learned something new that I was surprised that the Lakshmi is she just came with Saint Krishna, and the saint um he was caring about his material thing, so I was surprised because it should be the opposite, and it was also saying that the Lakshmi, she was telling the saint a lesson about what he should have done, and the saint is the person who did the mistake, because usually the brahmanas, they have the they have to tell us like what we have to like do. So I was surprised with that, and this is also teaching us a lesson that we shouldn't stay attached with material things. We should be detached.
Very nice points, Param. And I think to your point, yeah, that makes sense because, being a scholar or having the knowledge of all the Vedas and all sorts of scriptures only helps if you implement that in your real life, right? So Bhakti Marg is a very different one. It's a very simple way, right, to do things. So even though Lakshmi, who was such a simple person, had a very simple life, no big desires, but she was still able to achieve, which Panditji couldn't, right? It's just because the bhakti she was doing and the faith she had in Krishna. So very well said. Kabir, do you want to go next?
Hare Krishna Mataji Param. So I know one shloka which is similar to this shloka. Yanata Kamanadita Sangha Samatara Tanatan Kante the same way. Sorry, it's my sister.
That's okay.
Kamanadita Lokayam Samasam Mataraha Mataraha. What? 1 second. Yanafta Kamanadita Lokayam Kamabandadaha Pan Atam Atam can't hear. Wait. Okay. Yaknatra Kamanadita Service Loka Yankama Montaraha at Atanka Gondea the Service Matura. Translation. We're done as sacrifice for Vishnu as we should. Otherwise, what comes of Monday in this matter war? They first Osana Bhakti and the form of sacrifice. In that way, we refrain from bondage. So you always need to put Krishna in the center. So because if you like think of Krishna, he can always help you. But if you think of money, for a long time, he will never help you. Then in that way, you will go to bondage, directly to bondage.
Very well said. Thank you for sharing that. Very well said. I think you all are talking about the exact same thing. Material desires, staying away from that, having faith in Krishna, following the right path, devotions, all that kind of stuff. So very good. Shubhadra and Giridhari, you're next.
Yes, Mataji. So basically, Mataji, so the moral of the story is like very simple, Mataji. So like if you put faith into Krishna and believe in him, that everything in him, every desire is into him, then you can overcome a challenge or any circumstances, whether you not like getting any desires from that result, because Mataji, such as like Lord Ramchandra and Hanuman, like they wanted to build a bridge, they just write it Ram in the name in the rocks, and thus it floats, so they could be able to build a bridge. And if you put faith into Krishna, or anything will be like obstacles, then Lord Krishna will take in charge.
Yeah, actually, very well said, and very, very good example of faith, right? Hanuman,
Mataji.
Lord Ram's, very beautiful. Yes.
So, Mataji, so the moral is like trust and believe Krishna. He will do anything to help you unless you put trust into him. Like unless you put faith and trust into him. Like
Exactly.
like what my brother said, that's like a great example, because Hanumanji, he believes in because he puts faith into Lord Ram. He adores Lord Ram and Sita Maya.
Yeah,
He adores them. So so if you put faith or trust into it, Krishna will help you with anything and overcome obstacles.
very, very well said. Exactly. Exactly. Very well said. All right. So all the kids are done, looks like it. Well, there's nothing else for me to add here
Can I
because,
say one more thing?
yes, Janvi, go ahead.
Okay, so I wanted to give an example as well. So like that lake that they crossed, it was like the lake of material desires, and the milkmaid had so much faith in Krishna that she could just like leave all the material desires and walk over it. But the pandit, he was like, he still had so many material desires that as soon as that he tried to walk over them, but he just dropped back in it because he still had so many just material desires in him, so he couldn't get rid of them. But the milkmaid, she was living so simply, and she had full faith in Krishna that she could just walk over the material desires.
Exactly. Well said. And you all said it, right? But that just reminds me that the Panditji was the one who told her that if you have faith in Krishna, you know, you can go through this ocean of life without any problem. So he knew, he had the knowledge, but he did not know how to implement the knowledge, as you all are saying. Absolutely. So you all are very well said. I mean, you all actually touched upon every single thing that I could think of and I could not think of, right? There's so many good points that you brought in, and I really have nothing else to add, but very well said. I really liked all the realizations that you had. And see, reading the story second time, you come up with so many things. The second story we're going to do today, I remember I did it earlier, but we'll do it again. That's another good story and a very powerful message in that story too. And we'll have some time for us to talk about our realizations from this story as well. So let's do that. The second story, yes.
Are we gonna do Kahoot today?
There is no Kahoot today. Today is all moral stories, and that's why I have 2 stories today. I wish I could add Kahoot, right? It's fun next time. All right, kids. So second story for today is the story of Bhragupada. All right. So let's see what happens here. So once long, long ago, on the shore of the river Saraswati, a discussion arose among a group of sages as to which of the 3 chief lords, Brahma, Vishnu, or Shiva, is the greatest. Well, we don't want to challenge that anyways. Let's just take it as a story. But the message from the story is very nice. So let's just go through the story. They deputed Bhrigu Muni to investigate the matter, to find out who among the 3 chief lords who is the best or the greatest. Everybody has their own responsibility to do it. So again, I wouldn't say who is the best or worst, but let's just go through the story. And Bhrigu Muni is thinking, I will test the Lord's tolerance because that is the greatest quality. If one has tolerance, that is a sign of greatness, according to me. So keeping that in his mind, or thinking about that in his mind, he first of all goes to Lord Brahma, his own father, and he did not pay any respect to him. He did not offer any respect to him. And Lord Brahma is thinking in his mind, he is so disrespectful. But even though Lord Brahma is seeing that he is disrespectful, Bhrigu Muni is disrespectful, but he just couldn't say anything because he's his own son, right? He couldn't say. He suppressed his anger. Bhrigu Muni definitely could see that, right? That his father is angry, but he walked off. And he's thinking in his mind that, let me leave this place immediately because now my father is very angry. I did not pay him any obeisances. So he's very, very angry with me. Now let me get out of this place before anything else happens, right? So the next stop for him was Lord Shiva. He went to Lord Shiva, his older brother, who rose from his seat to embrace him. And Lord Shiva is telling Bhrigu Muni, oh, I am so happy to see you, my brother. Come, let me embrace you. And Bhrigu Muni, definitely, he was trying to test, right? He was trying to test everybody. So he just kind of being little erotic in his behavior. He's saying, no, you are deviant heretic. So stay away from me. With that, when Lord Shiva heard that, he was very angry. He was very, very angry. He immediately pulled his Trishul and he's trying to kill Bhrigu with his trident. So Goddess Parvati intercepted and pacified her husband. Meanwhile, Bhrigu left Kailash. So if Parvati Mata wouldn't have interjected, then nobody could have controlled Lord Shiva here. And Parvati Mother told him that he's your younger brother, so please forgive him. Well, Bhrigu Muni was there for a reason, and he had seen whatever he wanted to see, and he left from there. The third place he went to was to Lord Vishnu, right? Sorry, I don't know why is it doing it this way today. Yeah, so the third place that he went to was to Lord Vishnu. And Lord Vishnu was taking rest at that time when he reached there, right? He was in Vaikuntha, he was taking rest. So Bhrigu Muni approached the Lord and then he kicked his chest. He kicked his chest, but instead of becoming angry, both the Lord and his consort stood up. So Lakshmi Mata and Lord, they stood up and offered Bhrigu respects, right? They did not get angry. Instead, they were just being very respectful to Bhrigu Muni. And Lord said that, welcome, please sit down and rest a while. Kindly ignore us, dear master, for not noticing your arrival. So instead of saying anything to Bhrigu Muni, Lord Vishnu is saying that, okay, it's my mistake. I did not realize that you're here. And at the same time, I'm sure your leg must be hurt too because my chest is so hard. So you hit my chest and you must have been hurt. So please take rest and forgive us for our ignorance that we did not notice your arrival. So after that, Bhrigu Muni went back to the same assembly of sages, and he told them that all that has happened at all the three places. And he has concluded here that that Lord Vishnu is the Supreme Lord, as we all know, and everybody's saying Lord Vishnu ki jai. This is a purport, basically. Bhrigu Muni tested the tolerance of the Lord by purposely kicking his chest. But instead of being angry at Bhrigu Muni, the Lord begged his pardon or forgiveness, saying that Bhrigu Muni's leg might have been badly hurt because his chest is so hard. The Lord has the sign of the foot of Bhrigu Prabhupada's as the mark of tolerance. So this particular story talks about the tolerance than anything else. All right, let's see what you all have to say here. Did we learn anything at all from this story? Livon, let's start with you.
You cannot compare all the gods because all of them are the same.
Right. And demigods have a duty, right? So demigods have their assigned responsibilities that they take care of, really. So we cannot compare lords, right? Thank you, Livon. Tushita, do you want to go next? Somebody was remembering you. Ryan was remembering you a few minutes ago.
So, you should be tolerant he'll be tolerant like Lord Vishnu.
That was beautiful. Very nice. Thank you, Tushita. All right, Sanvi, do you want to go next? Sanvi?
Hare Krishna Mataji, sorry, I was on mute.
No worries. Go ahead.
So when Brigumani tested Lord Brahma became angry at him. And when he tested Lord Shivji also became very angry at him. When Brigumani tested Lord Vishnu did not like angry or anything, even though he did the verse to Lord Vishnu by kicking his chest. Lord Vishnu did not get angry or anything, but instead he said sorry and said that his feet might have been badly hurt because his chest is too hard. So Lord Krishna is really tolerant to everybody.
Yeah, very nice. Thank you, Sanvi. All right, Shubhadra and Giridhari, do you want to go next?
Yes, Mataji. So, so Brigumuni, and the Lord. So Brigumuni was in the task to see who is in the three Murtis who is the best at being tolerant. So the Lord, which is Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna, when Brigumani tested the two lords, Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they didn't like how Brigumani didn't respect them. But when Brigumani tested on the Lord Vishnu and Lord Krishna, he was surprised that the Lord was very tolerant. That's why he's the Purushottam, Adi Purushottam. So he's the he symbolizes all truth, all absolute truth and etc. So he's very much tolerant. And by the way, the Brigumani was foot was is getting hurt because Lord Krishna and Lord Vishnu's chest is very stiff and very hard. So the Lord has the sign of how Brigumani tested him into being tolerant. So Mataji, so the Lord is very tolerant than the rest of the three Murtis. Mataji, Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you. Very well said. Shubhadra, you want to go too?
Yes, Mataji, she's coming.
Okay. Yeah, let me know when she's here. But meanwhile, let's move on.
Yes, Mataji.
Okay, you're here. Yeah, go ahead, Shubhadra.
So Mataji, so what I think the moral of the story is tolerate your anger. Now like when Brigumani tested the tolerance of the Lord, he purposely kicked his chest, but because he wanted to test and see if the Lord would be angry, but instead he begged for forgiveness. So like he was like so like he so the Lord, he was begging that like his foot must have hurt really badly and come take a seat. And Brigumani, like, he saw that the Lord passed the Lord, he passed the test of him. So like, so this story is all about tolerance, Mataji. Like where the Lord has kept his tolerance really, 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 really low, and not to show it. Like
Yeah.
really calm.
So true, right? Somebody hitting and still not reacting. Yeah, very well
Yeah.
said. Beautiful. Thank you, Shubhadra and Giridhari. Param, do you want to go next?
Yes, Mataji. So this is basically saying what a moral could be for this is that this moral could be that we should be like the other it said that we should be tolerant with this, and we should be tolerant at the I have a verse. A body the body tere kirtanasa the hari, and it's that this is it is also like stating that we should be tolerant as a blade of grass, because like a lot of people stand on the grass and it's still standing straight, and we have to be tolerant like a tree. A tree has to be tolerant in so many stages, like it has to stand terrible storms, tornadoes, hurricanes, floods, everything, and it hurts when their branches are cutted, and they're you like, and the trees, they give us everything. They give like some of the palm trees, they give like the coconuts, and they give in Florida, they're there, and they have to like they have a lot, they give us everything, and they also give us shade when it's really hot, and suppose it's like when it's raining, they give us shade. So we have to be tolerant. This is basically teaching
Yeah,
us that,
and good
and
analogy. Yeah.
we should not offend any devotee, even though if they do not do things like a devotee. Krishna is still in their heart, so we should see them as greater than this, because one day they might become elevated than us.
Absolutely. Very well said. Thank you, Param. Janvi?
Yeah, I want to say that Krishna's all tolerant. Krishna's all tolerant, and that okay, and that he's all forgiving. So even though Brighamuni, he hit him in the chest, he still forgave him because he's very soft-hearted and he's forgiving.
Yeah, right. Thank you, Janvi. Madhav?
So we should always we should always be tolerant, just like Lord Vishnu.
Yes, very well said. Thank you, Madhav. Deva? No, I'm sorry. Kabir. Kabir, do you want to go next? Kabir? Okay, we'll come back. Balavrinda? Share your thoughts.
Mataji,
Mm-hmm.
I was doing my homework and I didn't see the class. So I was doing my sloka, so I couldn't join the moral story or any class.
That's okay. You can read these stories later, right? All right. That's fine. No, don't worry. Anybody else wants to share anything before we wrap up the class, though? Yes,
Mataji, I know that story, Mataji.
you know all the stories, I know. Yeah, Kabir.
I know the moral story, Mataji. The moral of the story is that you should not be tolerant and you should not keep on going everywhere and see where Krishna is. Krishna is in your heart.
Yeah. Right. You remember that. Kabir. Yeah.
I have to talk two things. So one, I did like a a show where is a a drama. I mean, like there is like in the last Jamashtami about this story.
I see. Okay.
And we have one sloka, which is similar to the story again. Matraspashrasu konteya shitoshnasu duktaha agamani nonitas tamas dikshasvasbhavataha. Translation. O son of Kunti, the non-permanent of appearance of happiness and distress, and the disappearance of dual course, like the appearance and disappearance of winter-summer seasons, they arise from sense appearance or section of Bharata, and one must learn to tell them without being disturbed. So it means like whatever you like when you're happy, the happiness will go away and then you will be sad, and it goes every time, whereas like goes happy and sad, like opposites.
Yep.
Which goes on and on and on.
True. Very true. Thank you, Kabir, for sharing that. And with that, kids, I think we're done. So yeah, you pretty much covered. The biggest moral of the story was being tolerant, right? Being patient, being tolerant. Krishna knows everything, and we will have everything that we need, right, for us. So being tolerant is the biggest moral of the story. And you did talk about a lot of other things which are related and very nice. I really like how you all think out of the box and come up with something that you could associate with Krishna and associate with your day-to-day life, right? So that's very impressive, kids. With that, we are towards the end of the class. All right, I really had fun with you all today, but let's wrap up our today's class with Shri Vaishnav Pranam Mantra, and we're going to do this together. Prabhupada ki jai. All right, kids.
Bye bye, Mataji. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji, and thank you, kids. And it was a good class, and I'll see you next time. Hare Krishna. Until then, keep learning.
Bye, kids. Mukta Mataji, you have to join again. Mataji, I'll close this call.
What are we gonna do, Kahoot or no?
No Kahoot today,
Yes.
Kabir. Sorry, Kabir.
Thank you, Mataji. Dhanaparam.
Dhanavat Pranam. Bye-bye.